What is up, y'all? The Other Dude with John Alcorn here. If I don't know who I am, I'm the host of the show, The Other Dude with John Alcorn. Basically, this is obviously a sports show and a sports podcast. This episodes and all these episodes go on That One Dude 2020, which is, of course, the YouTube channel, LinkedIn, Instagram, and a couple of TikTok videos when there's not any sports going on, especially during the time of COVID-19. I like to talk about my favorite cartoons, shows, and video games, plus the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox next year is coming up, and I believe October, November, so we could talk about that. But we got sports stuff to talk about, so let's just really get started. Colin Cowerd came out with his top 5 quarterback arm talents, or guys that throw the most catchable football, and this is the most ridiculous thing on the planet. You can have your opinion, but looking at this right here that I'm looking at, number 1, he has Russell Wilson, which I can agree with. We already know what kind of talent Russell Wilson brings to the table. A phenomenal quarterback. 0 MVP career votes at all. We know that the Russell Wilson has his arm talent. They got number 2, Brady, 3, Brees, then 4, Murray, then 5, Jared Goff. We're going to dismantle this list. First of all, you got 5 at Jared Goff. Well, look at the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 53. Where is Jared Goff? What about the last few games of the 2018 season? 6 touchdowns, 7 picks. Having that many offensive weapons, and it doesn't help your team in terms of overall wins and losses. You missed the playoffs last year. Okay, you don't want to talk about the argument they missed the playoffs? Okay, fine. Catchable throws doesn't mean translate to overall teams' wins and losses or making the playoffs. Fine. But we're looking at Jared Goff. He's not a throwable football. How many times do we have to say this? When you have that many offensive weapons, it doesn't usually translate to success because you got to evenly distribute the football to these individual players. I get it, you can have your opinion, right? Colin Cowerd's doing it for clicks because there's no sports going on right now. If you cannot think of a sports topic right now when there's nothing going on, if I can think of 4 straight months worth of content for sports, and I'm doing this on my own, versus a multi-billion-dollar network, that's a real shame. Jared Goff is not a top 5 quarterback arm talent or a catchable football. That is just plain ridiculous. Give me another explanation why. Jared Goff's not a top 5, top 10 quarterback. Again, you don't have to be a top 5, top 10 quarterback to have the arm talent. I get it. But this list is just plain ridiculous. Number 4, Kyler Murray. I'm not disrespecting Kyler Murray. I think it's too early. Kyler Murray showed a lot of promise last year. Obviously, in that first game where they tied it up, I know they had a losing season. Cliff Kingsbury, a lot of different questions or scenarios. But at the end of the day, this is not saying Kyler Murray isn't going to throw a catchable football. This is not saying Kyler Murray isn't going to improve in his arm. But it is too early to decide. The hype, the potential, all of that is there. There's just no doubt in my mind. But we'll see if he can execute it in 2020. Number 3, Drew Brees. I can agree with that. As much as I've dogged on Drew Brees, we know he's an accurate quarterback. Maybe you can see last year when he threw to Michael Thomas most of the time. When you have one target you throw to, maybe the accuracy goes up because it's just the one target. If you're just throwing towards that one target for most of the 65+% of the season, your numbers in terms of accuracy or catchable football is going to go up. It's that one player, that one chemistry. But if you have to evenly distribute out the football to each of all these receiving options, fullback, running back, receiver, tight end, the accuracy is not there. Drew Brees does throw a catchable football. No doubt in my mind, but this list is just all jumbled up. Number 2 on this list, I get it. Number 2 is Tom Brady. 6 Super Bowls, 9 Super Bowl appearances. I'm not a Tom Brady fan. It's going to sound like that I'm defending Tom Brady. That's not happening at all. Hear me out on this one. I understand last year in terms of overall wins and losses in the playoffs, it doesn't translate. But talking about what Tom Brady did last year and talking about his arm talent, 42 years old, threw for 4,000 yards, 20+ TDs, first overall throwing in tight coverage at 42 years old. I'm not saying he had a phenomenal MVP like year. They didn't need him to do that. We know Tom Brady still has the arm talent. Does he have it like he did at 32 or 29? Probably not. And maybe they don't need to with this team now. But in terms of this arm talent, and in terms of this list, 1 through 5, Wilson, Brees, Brady, Murray, the potential is there, no doubt. Number 5, Jared Goff. Jared Goff? What are you doing? This absolutely has to be a joke. But it's not. Number 1, Russell Wilson. I totally agree. Now let's kind of reorganize this list, and I'll put my top 5 quarterbacks' arm talents, or AKA throwing a catchable football. Number 1, I'm going to have to say is Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson has not had an offensive line since 2016. Top 5, top 10, most sacked quarterback, and throws for almost 4,000 yards a year, 36 touchdowns to 8 picks. Now, we look at the completion percentage. It's slowly but surely kind of goes up. It kind of stays in the stagnant at 64 to 67. But you don't see him throwing for 59%. You don't see him doing all this or blah, blah, blah. Russell Wilson is a very accurate quarterback. Throws a very catchable football. You don't see some of the throws where like, ooh, he could have made this one, or ooh, he could have made that one. It wasn't even close at all. Russell Wilson is an accurate quarterback. And imagine if he had an offensive line, how much more accurate he would be. How much his his throws would be even more catchable than they already are with an offensive line. That is phenomenal. Number 2, I say is Drew Brees. I agree. Number 3 is on this list, but I'll put number 2. 72 to 73 completion percentage, the highest in the NFL for a quarterback. Now, that could be in contributing to you only throwing to one target. When you only throw to one target versus 3 to 4 to 5, like Jared Goff did, then, of course, the completion percentage is going to be very, very different. Number 3 on this list, I'm going to have to say, is Tom Brady. Again, I'm not a Tom Brady fan, but what Tom Brady has done is he gets older. He hasn't played the same since he was younger, like 10, 15 years ago. But his completion percentage has never, I believe, fallen below 62 to 63%. I know we could talk about the wild card round versus the Tennessee Titans. When we're talking about top 5 quarterback talent, it could be in the regular season, the postseason, the Super Bowl, the playoffs, championship games, all these different categories we can talk about. But when I'm talking about top 5 quarterback arm talent, I'm talking about the regular season. Because we could talk about it in the playoffs and all these other different quarterbacks. And this list could go on and on and on and on. Number 4 on this list really is Patrick Mahomes. And I'm going to have to reorder this list here in just a second. But Patrick Mahomes is a phenomenal quarterback. But when I say list 1 to 5, Patrick Mahomes is very accurate. Yes, he missed a couple of games last year. Yes, maybe this video isn't the best. But to kind of summarize it up, 5 is Mahomes, Wilson, Brees, Brady. And number 5, to be honest with you, is probably Carson Wentz. And when I say throwable football, it'd be, completion percentage, or he threw for a bunch of pass, or a couple games he had 100 yards, 200 yards. He had a bunch of practice squad players. Let me make that abundantly clear. I'm not saying he's a top 5 quarterback. But in terms of arm talent, Mahomes, Brees, Brady, Wilson, easy, Aaron Rodgers. I know this video is all over the place. We're trying to figure out how to do this content. Patient. But to summarize it up, top 5 quarterback arm talent, or AKA throwing the football that is the most catchable football, is Mahomes, Brees, Brady, Wilson, and of course, Aaron Rodgers, one of the most accurate quarterbacks in terms of touchdowns to interceptions, or AKA completion percentage. But let me know what you think about this video. It was kind of all over the place, and I apologize. We're just continuing to get this content to make it improve. Thank you all so much for the support, and I will see you Tuesday morning, no later than 7 a.m. with a brand new video.